Hefeng County in central China. One of the most isolated areas of the country. It looks beautiful, but this is home to one of China's biggest social problems. We're on our way to meet the kids who've come to be known as the left behind generation. An astonishing 61 million children left behind in the villages and towns of rural China, while their parents work in the big cities.
Children in China, more than 61 million kids, growing up mostly without the company of their parents. Most of them live in poor rural communities with their grandparents, many of whom struggle with health problems brought on by age and a lifetime of farm work. The children's parents are among 250 million migrant workers trying to improve their family's standard of living by taking city jobs.
The Chinese residency permit system, called the hukao, effectively stops parents from taking their children to the cities with them. That's because public services like schools and hospitals can only be accessed where you live. If you move, you then have to pay, and for most factory workers, that's way beyond their means.
A household registration record officially identifies a person as a resident of an area. It includes identifying information like their name, parents, spouse, date of birth. Opportunities for Chinese people vary widely based on where their hukao is. This is especially evident between rural and urban residency status.
The problem is that the finances of the healthcare schemes and the education is all done at the local level.
Right.
So I think it's very difficult for the government at the national level to say, okay, let's just reform the hukou system, because it involves detailed finances of all the different provinces and cities.
They are reforming it, but it's not going to be the drastic things. You hit it right on the head, Karina. There's an issue right now. For instance, in Beijing, it's a city that was designed for 15 million people that has 22 million people in it. And that kind of infrastructure that's necessary to support that is not there. So what you have are overcrowded streets, subways which are bursting to capacity, et cetera, et cetera. There has to be some sort of deliberate long-term planning in order to accommodate people. Otherwise, the cities are not going to be the place of opportunity. They're going to be a place of, let us say.
那么这个从制度层面上来讲的话，我觉得就是要允许，国家就应该允许这个我们的这些农村的孩子，这个打工的子女，打工农民的打工的子女去跟着他们自己到打工的地方去入学，这个是一个很好的解决办法。
Nearly 160 million people, that's almost 12% of today's population, have left rural areas to seek work in the cities. Migrants moved from the poorest inland provinces such as Guizhou, Sichuan and Anhui. In 1980, farmers here lived on less than $2 a day.
Chinese workers are not forced into factories because of our insatiable desire for iPods. They choose to leave their homes in order to earn money, to learn new skills, and to see the world, including living conditions that to me looked close to prison life. 10 or 15 workers in one room, 50 people sharing a single bathroom, days and nights ruled by the factory clock. Everyone they knew lived in similar circumstances, and it was still better than the dormitories and homes of rural China.
%80 of the kids are growing up without parents. Some return from time to time to visit their children, but many are never seen again. Many of these kids may become part of what's being called a damaged generation. millions of children suffering from emotional trauma, depression and anxiety. The Chinese government has only just started admitting the enormity of the problem. Their response has been slow and small. They've sent in social workers to 5 provinces, but they'll only be able to help 1% of the left-behind children.
Behind tend to have more problems around anxiety, problems around communication, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, and indeed problems at school, learning difficulties.
If it wasn't for the Chinese flag hanging above the school, you might not even realise it's nestled in the valley. When Mr. Yang started teaching 35 years ago, it was a few years before the Chinese government mandated for free primary school education. Even so, back then this same village had a school of over 80 students with 3 teachers. Now it's just Mr. Yang left teaching. His only students, 6-year-old Hefanchi and 5.5-year-old Shitao. They're 2 of just a few dozen children still living among these mountains. But they choose to attend the village school instead of trekking to a larger county school. For Mr. Yang, they're the reason he continues to teach every day.
每当我走进校园，看到一颗颗活泼可爱的孩子见到老师，杨老师啊，你早，杨老师你好，心情非常高兴。还平常和他们一起，所以这里就把我注定了，在这个山村，我就不想你了这个教学点不存在了。想一想，人家那些贫困那些家庭，这个孩子的学习怎么做？ 本来就是一个边缘山区的孩子，书上都是说，教育改变命运，知识也改变命运。但如果缺乏知识，所谓边缘山区，其实给家乡也好，给国家也好，给社会也好，都带来一些不得均衡发展这个情况。
如果不读书的话，这一辈子都是必须辛苦的。虽然现在读书是有点累，但是把书读好了，就以后就不用累了。坚持就是胜利嘛。